Ever find yourself doing exactly what you're supposed to do while every fiber of your being wishes you were somewhere else? You show up, you put in the hours, and you check the boxes, but mentally, you have completely checked out. There is a specific archetype for this kind of person, the third missionary. This is someone who operates with outward obedience. They work hard, they follow the rules, and they willingly sacrifice their own time and talents for a larger cause. Well, on paper, they are highly successful. The physical labor they put in genuinely helps people. Because they do the work, real lives are improved and tangible goals are met. But underneath that outward behavior is a quiet exhaustion. They rely entirely on a grin-and-bear-it approach. They power through the obligation, teeth clenched, waiting for the exact moment they can finally stop and go back to doing what they actually want to do. This raises a strange paradox. How can someone work so hard, do so much visible good for others, and yet receive absolutely zero personal benefit from the experience? Outward action disconnected from internal desire is a recipe for silent misery. Behavior alone is not enough to guarantee fulfillment if the heart is actively resisting the work. The core problem with this approach is a divided self. The third missionary readily volunteers their time and their physical energy, but they completely withhold their heart. This creates a constant, exhausting psychological war. On one side is a sense of duty. On the other are the selfish desires of the natural man, the part of us that demands our own way, our own comfort, and our own timing. As the author C.S. Lewis observed, trying to appease both your conscience and your natural desires simultaneously is a losing game. The more you obey your conscience, the more it demands of you. Meanwhile, your natural self is starved and hampered at every turn, eventually resulting in deep resentment. A human being cannot be changed against their will. If we are internally fighting the process, we are effectively choosing to remain exactly as we are. Because the mind is in internal rebellion, good deeds bounce off the character. Doing the right thing with the wrong heart is contrary to the nature of happiness. You cannot achieve a state of joy if you actively fight the things that produce it. There is a resolution to this friction, modeled by what we can call the fourth missionary. This person is not more skilled, elite, or flawless than the one we just described. The critical difference between the two is entirely internal. They practice unconditional surrender. Instead of just donating their physical labor, they intentionally hand over all of their personal wants, wishes, and dreams to the cause. They take their completely legitimate, positive worldly ambitions, whether that's a career, a relationship, or summiting Mount Rainier, and mentally place them on a shelf. They willingly set these things aside to focus exclusively on the present duty. This is the difference between sacrifice and consecration. Sacrifice is biting the bullet, giving up one thing for another while still mourning the loss. Consecration is giving yourself so completely to the work that the loss isn't even tallied. When your overriding desire becomes simply doing the work required, the war within the self ends. The internal friction is eliminated. If we look closely at the economics of this consecration, we find a curious truth. Our time, our talents, and our physical strength are not truly ours to begin with. We only have them as long as we have the breath to use them. There is only one thing a human being truly originates and owns entirely, their independent will. And here lies the central paradox of this transaction. It is only by handing over this single final possession that genuine personal growth can occur. This surrender removes the internal barrier that keeps our experiences from actually reaching us. When we stop fighting the work, the challenges we face, like the need for patience or integrity, finally begin to incorporate into the character, becoming part of who we are rather than just tasks we performed. David O. McKay once noted that the greatest battles you will ever fight will be within the silent chambers of your own heart. That internal space is where you decide whether to resist the process or accept it. Giving up your will in this way is often mistaken for extreme fanaticism, but in reality, it is simply a matter of intelligence and logical self-interest. It is the only way to ensure that the 2 years, or 20 years, you spend working actually yield a person you're proud to be. Aligning your deepest internal desires with your highest external duties is the only intelligent way to live. It ends the energy-draining war within,
allowing you to move forward without the friction that keeps most people standing still.